The second episode, Shi Naian nightly walks in Huiying County, and Liu Tixia faced fight in the western region of Shanguangkai. Shu Wu went to other leaders knelt down and said, "You dear brother, you are an honorable person. Don't be implicated because of us. Eldest brother, please tie us up and take us out to claim the reward, so as not to burden you and tarnish your reputation." Shi Zhen replied, "How can that be allowed? I brought you here to capture you for the reward, not to make a mockery in the eyes of the world. If it comes to death, I'll die with you. If it's life, we'll live together. Get up, rest assured, don't worry. Let me inquire about your background first." Shi Zhen climbed the ladder and asked, "Why did you Chahatsu come to rob my manor in the middle of the night?" The two leaders said, "Eldest brother, you still deny it. There is a plaintiff, Li Ji, present." Shi Zhen shouted, "Li Ji, why are you falsely accusing innocent people?" Li Ji replied, "I didn't know at first. I found Wang Xi's letter in the woods. Went to Ypi County to verify. In the matter unfolded." Shi Zhen called Wang Xi and asked, "You said there was no letter. How come there's one now?" Wang Xi said, "I was a bit drunk at that time and forgot about the letter." Shi Zhen yelled, "Beast! What can be done now?" The outside leaders were afraid of Shi Zhen and dared not rush into the manor to arrest people. The three leaders pointed their fingers and said, "Let's discuss it outside." Shi Zhen understood and called from the ladder, "You two hats don't need to fight. I'll compromise and bind them to bring them out to claim the reward." The two hats, fearing Shi Zhen, reluctantly agreed, "We are fine. We'll wait for you to bind them and go together to claim the reward." Shi Zhen descended the ladder, went to the front of the hall, first took Wang Xi to the backyard and killed him with a knife. He instructed many servants to collect all the valuables in the manor and stack them up. Meanwhile, he lit 30 or 40 torches. Shi Zhen and the three leaders were fully armed, with spears and waist knives on the rocks, holding wooden knives and tying themselves up. They set fire to the grass house behind the manor, and the servants packed their belongings. Seeing the fire inside, they all rushed to the back to watch. Shi Zhen then set fire to the main hall, opened the manor gate, shouted loudly, and led a charge down. Shi Zhen took the lead, with Shi Wu and Liangshan in the middle, Chen Zhao at the rear, accompanied by small gang members and manor servants, charging out directly towards the two leaders and Li Ji. Shi Zhen, upon seeing them, became furious. Meeting enemies face to face, especially clear-eyed enemies, the two leaders, sensing the unfavorable situation, turned and fled. Li Ji also hurriedly tried to retreat. Shi Zhen was already there, raised his hand, and with one stroke, he cut Li Ji into two pieces. As the two leaders were about to escape, Chen Zhang and Liangshan caught up with them. With a single wooden knife each, they ended the lives of the two leaders. The county officer was so shocked that he hastily rode his horse back. The soldiers dared not advance and scattered, fleeing for their lives, whereabouts unknown. Shi Zhen led the group, killing and advancing until they sat down in the stronghold on Mount Shaohua. After catching their breath, Shu Wu and the others quickly ordered the gang members to slaughter cattle and horses, celebrating with a feast. The details of the celebration are not mentioned further. After several days, Shi Zhen pondered, "I had to save 3 people, so I set fire to the manor. Although we got rid of some valuables and heavy items, all is lost." In his heart, he hesitated, but eventually spoke to Shu Wu and the others. "My master, Wang Zhaotiu, is stationed in the military office in the west. I need to find him, as I haven't visited since my father's death. Now that our family property and manor are gone, I must go find him." Shu Wu and the others said, "Brother, don't go. Stay in our stronghold for a few more days, and let's discuss it again. If you don't want to join the banditry, wait until things settle down. We, your younger brothers, will help you rebuild the manor and live as honest people." Shi Zhen said, "Although I appreciate your kindness, my intention to leave is firm. If I find my master, I also need to secure a place for myself and seek happiness for the rest of my life." Shu Wu said, "Brother, be the leader of the stronghold. Wouldn't that be a comfortable life? We're just worried that the stronghold might not be suitable for you to settle down." Shi Zhen said, "I am an upright and honorable man. How could I be willing to tarnish my parents' remains?" Don't persuade me to join the bandits. Don't bring up the topic again. After staying for a few days, Shi Zhen was determined to leave, despite the earnest attempts of Shi Wu and others to keep him. The many servants that Shi Zhen brought with him were left in the mountain stronghold, while he packed some scattered silver coins, tied them in a bundle, and left the rest in the stronghold. Shi Zhen wore a large white felt hat with a sprinkle of red tassels on top. Under the hat, he wore a dark green soft headscarf with a bright yellow ribbon on top. He wore a white silk battle robe with 2 collars. His waist was adorned with a plum red woven belt, and his legs were wrapped with blue and white winding cloth. He wore straw sandals suitable for mountain walking. He carried a bronze crabber and a goose-feather knife on his hip, with a bundle on his back and a wooden knife in his hand, bidding farewell to Shi Wu and the other 3. Many gang members accompanied him down the mountain. Shi Wu and the others parted with chairs, returning to the mountain stronghold. It is said that Shi Zhen, with a wooden knife in hand, left Mount Shaoyu and headed towards the main road, to the west. As he traveled towards Yan'an Prefecture, he couldn't avoid hunger and thirst, resting at night and traveling at dawn. After walking alone for more than half a month, he arrived at Weizhang. Here is also a military office. Could it be that my master Wang Zhaotu is here? When Shi Zhen entered the city and looked around, there were still 6 streets and 3 markets. He saw a small tea house at the intersection. Shi Zhen entered the tea house and chose a seat. The tea house scholar asked, "Where's the military office here?" The tea scholar said, "It's just ahead." Shi Zhen asked, "May I inquire if there is a military instructor named Wang Zhen from Beisheng in the military office?" The tea scholar said, "There are many instructors in the office, with 3 or 4 surnamed Wang. I don't know which one is Wang Zhen." As he spoke, a tall man walked into the tea house with big strides. When Shi Zhen saw him, he looked like a military officer with a sesame rope patterned headscarf, 2 gold rings from Taiyuan Prefecture behind his head, a pair of green silk battle robe, a black and blue double-stranded belt in his waist, and yellow boots made of eagle's claws. He had a round face, large ears, a straight nose, and a square mouth. He had a beard on his cheeks and was 8 feet tall with a waist circumference of 10 spans. The man sat down in the tea house. The tea scholar said, "Guest, if you're looking for Instructor Wang, just ask this commander, he knows." Shi Zhen hurriedly stood up and greeted, "Guest, please sit down and have some tea." The man, seeing Shi Zhen's imposing figure, thought him to be a robust man, so he also saluted him. They both sat down. Shi Zhen asked, "May I dare to ask the Honorable Sir's surname and name?" The man said, "I am the commander of the military office, surname Liu, given name Da." "May I ask, sir, what is your surname?" Shi Zhen said, "I am from Huyan County, Huazhou. My surname is Shi, and my name is Zhen. May I ask, sir, if there is a master of mine here?" "He is Wang Zhen, a military instructor of the 800,000 Forbidden Army in Beisheng." Commander Lu said, "Sir, could you be the infamous Shi Dang from the village of the Shi family?" Shi Zhen bowed and said, "I am indeed." Commander Liu Zha quickly returned the courtesy, saying, "Hearing about someone is not as good as seeing them. Meeting in person is better than just hearing about it." "So, you are looking for Instructor Wang, the one who offended General Gang in Beisheng?" Shi Zhen said, "That's the person." Liu Da said, "I've heard his name. However, he is not here. I heard that he is currently serving at the residence of the old military governor in Yan'an Prefecture. I am the commander stationed here in Weizhou, serving under the younger military governor. He is not here. If you are Shi Daleng, I've heard much about your good name. How about you join me for a drink in the street?" Commander Lu Da took Shi Zhen's hand and left the tea house. Lu Da turned back and said, "Tea money I'll settle it for you." The tea scholar replied, "The commander is having tea, just go." They walked out together, and after walking 30 to 50 steps, they saw a crowd surrounding an open space. Shi Zhen said, "Brother, let's take a look." When they parted the crowd, they saw a man in the middle with about 10 bamboo sticks, several medicinal patches laid out on the ground, and a plate on which he inserted yin yang symbols. It turned out to be a street vendor selling medicine using martial arts props. Shi Zhen recognized him. It was his master, Li Zhang, known as the Tiger fighting general, who had taught Shi Zhen martial arts. Shi Jin called out in the crowd, "Master, long time no see." Li Zhong said, "How did you end up here, dear disciple?" Commander Lu Zha said, "Since he's Shi Zhong's master, let's go have 3 cups together." Li Zhong said, "After I sell these medicinal patches and collect the money, I'll join the commander." Liu Zha said, "No need to bother waiting for you. You go along with us." Li Zhong replied, "I have no choice for my livelihood. Commander, please go first, and I will catch up later. Young disciple, you go ahead with the commander." Liu Zha, impatient, pushed and shoved the onlookers, scolding, "Get out of the way. Those who don't leave will be beaten." Seeing that it was Commander Liu Zha, the crowd dispersed. Li Chang, seeing Liu Da's fierceness and unwilling to provoke him, could only smile and say, "Such an impatient person." They quickly packed up their belongings and weapons. The 3 men took a roundabout route and arrived at a famous Pan family restaurant under the Shou Bridge. In front of the door, a flag with the word "Wine" hung, swaying in the wind. They entered the Pan family restaurant and chose a seat in the Jichu pavilion. Commander Liu Zha sat in the main seat, Li Zhong sat opposite him, and Shi Jin sat at the lower end. The waiter saluted, recognizing Commander Liu Zha, and asked, "Commander, how much wine would you like?" Liu Zha said, "Start with the 4-corner wine." While laying out vegetables and fruits according to the wine, the waiter asked, "Sir, what would you like to eat?" Liu Zha said, "Ask for anything. Just bring it. I'll pay you after you serve it." This guy, just making noise. The waiter left and immediately brought hot wine. But when it came to meat dishes, he kept bringing more and more to fill the table. After a few rounds of wine, they were discussing martial arts and comparing techniques when they heard someone sobbing and crying in the adjacent room. Liu Zha, agitated, threw the dishes and cups on the floor. Upon hearing this, the waiter hurriedly came up, saw Commander Liu Zha in a furious state, and bowed, saying, "Sir, if you need anything, please let me know." Liu Zha said, "What does this involve? You must recognize this yin. Why are you allowing someone to cry next door, disturbing us brothers while we're drinking? This then certainly hasn't led you payment for the wine." The innkeeper said, "Sir, please calm down. How would I dare to let someone cry and disturb you drinking? The person crying is a father and daughter who sing in the wine booth. They didn't know you gentlemen were here drinking, and their crying happened accidentally." Liu Zha said, "This is absurd. Go and call them here." The innkeeper went to call them. Before long, 2 people arrived, a young woman of 18 or 19 in front and an old man of 50 or 60 at the back, holding a bamboo clapper in his hand. They both came forward, wiping away tears, and bowed deeply 3 times. The old man also paid his respects. Liu Zha asked, "Where are you two from? Why are you crying?" The young woman said, "Sir, let me explain. Our family is from Beisheng. We moved to Wenan to seek relatives after our parents died. Unexpectedly, we ended up moving to Nanjing. My mother died of illness in an inn. My father and I found ourselves stranded here. There's a wealthy man named Song Guangxi in this area. He used force and threats after seeing me, wanting me to become his concubine. He wrote a fake promissory note with an imaginary sum of 3,000 taels and took possession of my body. In less than 3 months, his wife found out and violently drove me away, forbidding any reunion. She ordered the innkeeper to demand the original promissory note and 3,000 taels. My father is weak, unable to argue with him. The man is wealthy and influential. Initially, we didn't receive a single penny from him. Now, how could we repay him? With no other choice, my father, who knows a few small tunes, came to the inn to perform, earning some money daily to pay back most of it to him and leaving a little for our living expenses. These past 2 days, with few customers, we've exceeded his deadline for payment. We're afraid he'll come to collect, bringing shame upon us. My father and I have nowhere to share our grievances, so we ended up crying. We didn't mean to disturb the officials. We beg for forgiveness and ask for leniency." Liu Zha then asked, "What is your surname? Where are you staying at the inn? Where does the Song Guangxi live?" The old man replied, "My surname is Jin and my second name is Shaoyan. Song Guangxi is the meat vendor under the Shaoyuan Bridge in this area, nicknamed Guangxi. My daughter and I are staying at Lu's guest house in front of the east gate. Liu Da, hearing this, said, Oh, I thought Zhang Guangxi was someone else, but he turns out to be a butcher. This villain dared to join under the command of my younger military governor as a meat seller. Little did I know he would bully people like this. Turning to Li Zhong and Shi Naian, he said, You two stay here. I'll deal with that scoundrel. Li Zhong and Shi Naian tried to stop him, saying, Brother, calm down. We can handle this tomorrow. They repeatedly persuaded him to calm down. Liu Zha said again to the old man, come here. This and we'll give you some money for your living expenses. Tomorrow, we'll go back to Beisheng. How about that? Father and daughter expressed their gratitude, saying, If we can return to our hometown, it would be like being reborn with parents and living with family again. However, the innkeeper may not be willing to let us go. Songjiang Uprising will definitely pressure him for the money. But don't worry, we have a way. Lu Da took out 5 taels of silver from his side and placed it on the table. He looked at Shi Naian and said, We didn't bring much money today. If you have some silver, lend it to us and we'll return it to you tomorrow. Shi Naian replied, No problem, big brother. Consider it a gift. He took out an ingot of 10 taels of silver from his bundle and placed it on the table. Liu Zha then turned to Li Zhong and said, You, too, lend us some money. Li Zhong took out 2 taels of silver from his side. Seeing the amount, Lu Zha remarked, You're not very generous either. Liu Zha handed the 15 taels of silver to old Jin and instructed, You and your daughter go and prepare for your journey. Pack your belongings. I'll come to settle with you early tomorrow morning. Let's see if that innkeeper dares to keep you. Old Jin and his daughter expressed their gratitude and laughed. Liu Zha returned the 2 taels of silver to Li Zhong. After having 2 more rounds of drinks, the 3 men went downstairs, calling out, Innkeeper, here's the payment for the wine. We'll send it back to you tomorrow. The innkeeper responded, Commander, feel free to go. Just enjoy the drinks. I'm afraid you won't come back to settle the bill. The 3 of them left pants, one shop and went their separate ways on the street. Shi Naian and Li Zhong each went to their respective guest houses. Liu Zha headed back to the residence in front of the military governor's office. Upon returning to his room, Liu Zha skipped dinner and went to bed in frustration. The host dared not inquire about his troubles. Meanwhile, old Jin, with the 15 taels of silver, went back to the inn, settled his daughter, and went outside the city to find a carriage. After returning, they packed their belongings, paid the rent, and settled other expenses. Everything was prepared for the journey, awaiting the next day. That night passed without any issues. Early the next morning, at dawn, old Jin and his daughter got up, made a fire, cooked breakfast, and ate. Afterward, they finished packing. As the day began to break, Liu Zha walked into the inn, calling out loudly, Innkeeper, where's old Jin's lodging? The innkeeper replied, Old Jin, Liu Zha is looking for you. Old Jin, guiding his daughter and carrying a load, expressed his gratitude to Liu Zha. Ready to leave, the innkeeper stopped them, asking, Old Jin, where are you going? Liu Zha inquired, Does he owe you for the room? The innkeeper said, Old Jin paid the room rent last night. However, he still owes Songjiang Uprising for the debt. I am responsible for ensuring payment to him. Liu Da declared, I will settle some butcher's debt myself. Let Old Jin return home. The innkeeper refused to let them go. Liu Da, furious, raised his hand and slapped the innkeeper, causing him to spit blood from his mouth. He followed it up with a punch that knocked out her front teeth. The innkeeper crawled away, escaping into the inn. The host dared not come out to stop Liu Da. Old Jin and his daughter hurriedly left the inn and went outside the city to find the carriage they had arranged the day before. Liu Da, considering that the innkeeper might send someone to intercept them, sat on a stool in the inn for about 2 hours. Seeing that old Jin had likely gone far, he stood up and went straight to the Songjiang bridge. As Liu Zha pondered, fearing that the innkeeper might send someone to intercept them, he sat on a stool in the inn for about 2 hours. Seeing that old Jin had likely gone far, he stood up and went straight to the Songjiang bridge. Liu Zha arrived at some butcher's shop where 2 meat stalls were open, displaying 3 to 5 pieces of pork. Song butcher sat inside the counter, observing the Chan or Xiu butchers selling meat. Approaching the door, Liu Da called out, Song butcher. Upon seeing Liu Da, Song butcher hastily stepped out of the counter, bowing and saying, Captain, please forgive me. He then instructed his assistant to bring a stool. Captain, please have a seat, Song butcher said. Liu Da sat down and said, I bring the military commander's decree. He wants 10 caddies of lean meat, finely minced into stuffing. It should not have the slightest trace of fat on top. Song butcher replied, Certainly, please choose the meat you prefer, and I'll have it minced. Liu Da added, Don't let those brats handle it, you mince it yourself. Song butcher agreed, I'll personally handle it. He went to the meat stalls and selected 10 caddies of lean meat, carefully mincing it into stuffing. The innkeeper, with his head wrapped in a handkerchief, had come to report old Jin's situation at Song butcher's house. Seeing Liu Da sitting by the meat stall, he didn't dare approach too closely and instead stood at a distance, watching from under the eaves. Song butcher spent half an hour mincing the meat, packed it in lotus leaves, and asked, Captain, should I have someone deliver it? Liu Da replied, No need for delivery. Hold on. I also need another 10 caddies, but this time it should be fatty. I don't want any lean meat on top of it, should also be minced into stuffing. Song butcher questioned, Earlier, you wanted lean meat, fearing the government would use it for dumplings. Why do you need fatty meat for stuffing? Liu Da stared at Song butcher and said, The military commander's decree orders me to collect these items. Who dares to question it? Song butcher replied, It's something that can be used. I'll handle it. He selected another 10 caddies of fatty meat, minced it into stuffing, and wrapped it in lotus leaves. After a whole morning's work, it was time for lunch. The innkeeper and the customers who intended to buy meat didn't dare approach. Song butcher asked, Shall I have someone deliver this to the government office? Liu Da said, I also need another 10 caddies of soft and cartilaginous meat, minced finely into stuffing. Don't include any lean meat. Song butcher chuckled, You didn't come all this way just to tease me, did you? Hearing this, Liu Da jumped up, holding the 2 bags of stuffing in his hands, glaring at Song butcher. He said, I came here specifically to tease you. With that, he threw the bags of stuffing at Song butcher's face, creating a meaty downpour. Enraged, Song butcher, his anger surging, leapt off the meat stall, grabbed a bone-cleaning knife, and rushed towards Liu Da. Liu Da had already stepped back onto the street. The neighbors learned about 10 families who were in the middle of moving dare not intervene. The people passing by stopped in their tracks, and even the innkeeper was dumbfounded. With a knife in his right hand, Song butcher reached for Liu Da with his left hand. Liu Da pressed down on Song butcher's left hand, closed in on him, kicked at his abdomen, and sent him sprawling onto the street. Liu Da took another step forward, stepped on Song butcher's chest, raised his fist the size of a vinegar bowl, and said, I, Liu the captain, was appointed by the old General Lao Zhongxing as the chief investigator in the 5 western routes. It's not in vain that I'm called Zhang Guangxi Zhang of the western frontier. You, a butcher who slaughters pigs, a dog-like person, are also called Zhang Guangxi. How did you just see Jin Kui Liang so ruthlessly? He threw a punch directly at Song butcher's nose, causing blood to spray out like a burst of meaty rain, painting a picture of savory, salty, sour, and spicy flavors all rolled into one. Song butcher struggled to get up, leaving the knife aside, and could only say, Well done. Liu Da scolded, You audacious scoundrel. Dare to speak back. With a raised fist, Liu Da hit Song butcher's eye socket, causing a cut that spurted out like a burst of colorful silk, red, black, and purple all mixed together. Song butcher, unable to resist, dropped the knife and only praised, Nicely done. Liu Da cursed, You dare to respond? Lift your voice. Lifting his fist again, Liu Da delivered a punch, splitting the eye, and the eyeball popped out, resembling a colorful display, red, black, and purple, all bursting out. The onlookers were afraid of Liu Da, who dared to approach and advise. Song butcher couldn't resist and begged for mercy. Liu Da shouted, Ha! You're a fallen household. If you had faced me head-on, I might have spared you. Now that you're begging for mercy, I won't spare you. Another punch directly hit the sun, as if creating a pedestal with water and land, stones, symbols, gongs, all sounded together. Seeing Song Butcher lying on the ground, Liu Zha mocked, "Ha! You're pretending to be dead. I'll hit you again." But upon closer inspection, Liu Dao noticed Song Butcher's face changing gradually. Liu Zha thought, "I only intended to beat him up, not expecting to actually kill him with 3 punches. I might end up in legal trouble. Plus, there's no one to bring me food. It's better to leave early." He took a step back and thought, pointing at Song Butcher's corpse, "You're pretending to be dead. I'll deal with you slowly." Cursing, he turned and left. No one dared to stop him among the neighbors and Song Butcher's family. Liu Zha returned to his place, hastily gathered some clothes and money, abandoning the old and heavy ones. Carrying a short club, he ran out of the side gate and disappeared in a flash. Meanwhile, back at Song Butcher's home, despite the efforts of the family members and the innkeeper who had delivered the news, they couldn't revive him. The old and young neighbors came to the magistrate's office, filed a complaint, and when the magistrate arrived, he received the report saying Liu Dao is the chief investigator of the general's office. "I can't arrest him without proper authorization." The magistrate immediately took a sedan chair and arrived at the general's office. After accepting the report, he said Liu Dao is the chief investigator of the general's office and can't be arrested without proper authorization. Upon hearing the report, the general summoned the magistrate to his hall and exchanged greetings. The general asked, "What brings you here?" The magistrate reported, "I wish to inform the general that Liu Zha, the chief investigator of the general's office, has inexplicably beaten to death Song Butcher in the market. Without reporting to the general, I dared not arrest him without proper authorization." The general was surprised and thought, Liu Zha, though skilled in martial arts, has a reckless character. He has committed a crime resulting in loss of life. How can I protect him in this situation? It seems an investigation is necessary. The general then said to the magistrate, "Liu Zha was originally an officer in my father's old general's office. He was appointed as the chief investigator here to assist me. Since he has committed such a serious crime, you may interrogate him according to the law. If he confesses, the charges will be established. However, you must inform my father about it for a final decision. I am concerned about how it will look if my father needs him in the future. It would not be favorable." The magistrate replied, "I will seek approval to inform the old general about the situation. Only then can a decisive action be taken." The magistrate took leave, returned to the magistrate's office, and summoned Liu Dao for questioning, ordering the capture of the suspect. 1. The inspector received the official documents and led about 20 officials to Liu Da's residence. However, they found that Liu Zha had taken some belongings, a short club, and left. The landlord informed them that he had left without asking any questions. 1 ordered an investigation in different directions but could not find Liu Dao. 1 apprehended the landlord and 2 neighbors and reported to the magistrate. Liu Zha, fearing punishment, is on the run. We couldn't locate him. We only found some old clothes in his room." Upon hearing this, the magistrate instructed to detain them. Simultaneously, he ordered the arrest of Liu Zha, appointed local officials, and consulted with the judicial authorities. When everything was in order, the magistrate handled the case, and the plaintiff was allowed to return home. While the crowd was gathered to read the posted notice, someone in the crowd recognized Liu Zha and shouted, "Shang, how come you are here?" Liu Zha was forcibly dragged away from the crowded intersection by this person. It turned out that the man who recognized Liu Zha was an acquaintance. Liu Da's appearance was altered, his head was shaved, his beard removed, and he was given a new name to avoid recognition. This person had recognized him but decided to keep quiet. Liu Zha was not disguised, and the immediate dangers seemed to pass. He continued his journey, wandering without a clear destination. The authorities were still actively searching for him, and a reward was offered for his capture. Liu Zha, however, navigated through the busy streets, mingling with the crowd and evading the pursuing officials. If you want to know what will happen next, please pay attention to the next episode. Sha Yuan rebuilt Wenshu Monastery and Wu Song goes rampant in Mount Wutai.